Cormac Devlin, and I welcome today's opportunity for us to discuss and examine the supports available for people with special educational needs. And as a society, it's critical we deliver an education system that is of high quality for all of our children. One where every child and young person feels valued and is actively supported and nurtured to reach their full potential. A system where every child with additional needs receives an appropriate education support based on their needs. And I think it's fair to say that over the last 20 years, this system was that we're speaking about today was developed on a very modest basis. And I think from what all the speakers today have been saying is that it isn't fit for purpose of the current day. And while investment is extremely welcome and necessary in the system, it does need some sort of overhaul. And I agree with Deputy Cleary on his remarks. I know special education is a particular priority for investment by the government. And I want to thank you, Minister, along with your colleague Minister Norma Foley and Minister Anne Rabbitte as well, for all your engagement and efforts to date. I know my own constituency in Dún Laoghaire, which has many exceptional service providers such as Carmona Services, that people working in the sector go well above and beyond to support people with special and additional needs and their families, and this has to be acknowledged. This year, the Department of Education will spend more than €2 billion, or that's 25% of the department's budget, on providing additional teaching and care support for children with this special educational needs. And last year's budget delivered significant funding for those with special educational needs. And over the last number of years, the number of special classes in mainstream schools has increased to 2,148 for the school year 2021 to 2022. However, the pandemic resulted in particular challenges for children with special needs and their families. As we all know in this House, about the online learning that many of them were offered was not suitable for some of their needs. Some of them couldn't engage. Some of the physical, in-person activities and classes didn't resume. Some services still to this date haven't fully resumed, and that's of particular concern to their families and indeed to the child in particular. And while some efforts have been made to support them, we need to do more, and as we exit COVID, obviously, we need to ensure that services get back to full tilt this coming September. And Budget 2022 provided for the creation of 287 additional special classes for the year 2022 to 2023, and some 269 new special classes opened for September 2021, with a further 33 opening during 2021 and 2022 school year. And this must be expedited, though, the remaining ones, Minister, over the next couple of weeks for September of this year. And that said, some schools have also informed me that the system is quite complicated and lengthy. It needs to be streamlined, and that's mainly for the ASD units. And Minister, I know you're particularly familiar with St Mary's in Booterstown, and you'll be aware that they tried to transform a local parish centre into a SEN unit. And it should be remembered, though, that the principals are teachers primarily, not project managers, and a greater support should be provided by the department to allow them to focus on their school community and allow the project work in tandem with that. And SNAs should follow the child as well. That's something we heard earlier on, and I've had a number of cases where a child much needed SNA joins them in primary school, follows them through their education by and large, but come post-primary, they're kind of left in the wilderness unless the school that they're going to has the additional resources of an SNA, and even at that, some schools share them. So there's no dedicated person who knows that child intimately, who knows how to deal with them and how to support them in their educational needs. And equally, Minister, I know you'll be aware in Dún Laoghaire, in my own constituency, the work of the parents, family and friends of Carmona Services. And I know Minister Rabbitte has engaged with them over the last number of months, and that's much appreciated. And I know that they're eager to interact and meet with Minister Rabbitte again on the issue of residential and respite care within CH06. But as was said earlier about NEPs and the CNOs, all the services that are there and have developed over the 20 years, it needs to be refined and reviewed and tweaked to ensure that those children and their families feel the supports are there. I mean, the money that's going into these services is extremely welcome, and it's necessary, and it should continue. However, what we also need to do is ensure that it is landing to those children who need them. So while a lot has been done, obviously, for special education, and I commend your own work and that of your colleagues, Minister, we need to review and improve the processes for ASD and indeed the SEN units at all levels of education to ensure that it is fit for purpose over the coming years. Cormac Devlin.